technically we're not together. So can I really be mad? Should I really be mad? The answer was yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Today's topic is going to be specifically focused on people who are uncertain of you. Hey you guys, it's your girl Ivy and welcome back to my channel. When people are uncertain of you, this is usually where you find yourself in situationships because one or both parties are unsure if they want to fully commit to a situation, but doing all the things that come with being in a relationship don't necessarily stop. Maybe you met each other, you were vibing, you were getting to know each other, and things got physical, you started spending a lot of time, and then at one point or another, one of the parties is like, okay, I really like this thing, what are we doing? Or I want to commit to this, are you in agreement? And the other party is like, I'm not sure, or let's take things slow, or I'm between a rock and a hard place, I'm not sure which direction to go. And this is where situationships begin. I think it's very important to note, because this is a lesson that I had to learn the hard way, and we'll get into that a little later, but I had to learn that not choosing is a choice in itself. With most things in life, you either know if you like it or you don't like it. You either know if you want it or you don't want it. As far as the heart is concerned, when you are dating and you're being intentional and you want to be in a relationship where you want to be married, the person that chooses you and you choose, you want to be certain without a doubt that this is who you want to be with. This is who you can see yourself spending years, decades with. And so when someone is uncertain, when someone is on the fence with one foot in and one foot out, that should be a choice in itself. You should see it as a choice in itself, take it at face value and walk away. It may be a hard pill to swallow, but it saves you a lot of heartache and heartbreak in the long run. And I will give you an example as far as myself goes. I was in a relationship that for the longest was a situationship. At the time that I met this guy, I was in my early 20s. And I didn't let go of this situationship turned relationship until I was in my mid to late 20s. So I lost a good 4 or so years in this situationship turned relationship. And I'm gonna tell you why I keep calling it a situationship turned relationship and why it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth sticking around. So I met this guy in my early 20s. At first, it was like amazing. It seemed like our connection was so great and like we were vibing, and you know, it was the consistent communication from me and the compliments, and he seemed like he had his head on straight. Granted, he was about 6 years older than me. So me as a broke college student, because I went from undergrad straight into grad school, so I was still that, you know, broke college student, hadn't secured a corporate job yet or anything like that. I'm looking at this person who is 6 years my senior, thinking like, wow, he's so much different than the other guys, college guys by the way, that I've been dating. Like, he has a job in corporate, he has a nice spacious apartment, he seems to have himself together. Like, clearly this is a green flag. And this is why I'm going to do a separate video on dating in your 20s versus dating in your 30s. I think this is partly where I went wrong, because me seeing this guy who had a 5-6 year head start on me seeing him living what seemed to be a secure and stable life was a green flag to me. And it wasn't a, well, I expect this of you. It was just, I was kind of wowed by that, because as a college student, my experience with guys was different, because up until that point, I was dating guys who were my age and who were in the same financial situation as I. But anyway, I met this guy, we seemed to hit it off, things were great. However, a few months down the line, when, you know, I found myself starting to fall for this person, which is understandably so. When you are dating someone and you're spending a significant amount of time with them, you're getting to know them more, you're getting intimate with them, naturally you'll fall for them. You will fall in love. The feelings grow stronger. You know, that's what happens when intimacy is involved. And so as I started to fall for this person and my feelings grew stronger, I started to wonder, like, okay, well, where is this going? When I brought this to his attention, he pretty much gave different excuses such as, oh, well, you know, I just want things to occur naturally. I just want us to go with the flow. Every time I put a title on something, I feel like I jinx it and things go wrong. These were the things that he was telling me. Where I went wrong was being so empathetic. Me in my immature mind thinking like, okay, he's more mature, like he must understand dating in a better way than I do. Like, yeah, of course, I don't want to rush it. Like, no pressure. I don't want you to feel pressured. Like, I want our relationship to mature in the most organic way possible. And so I tried to be understanding and let it ride. Another area that I went wrong, because what was this creating? The moment I felt that I was ready to commit and he communicated that he was not, we were now transitioning from that of us dating and just getting to know each other to us transitioning into a situationship. This situationship lasted, I want to say, for a good year. I'm gonna say, actually, I'm not even gonna say a year and a half. It was more so like we were in a situationship for nearly 2 years. Of the 4 years that I was involved with this man, like a good 2 of it was a situationship. Once again, where I went wrong was not realizing that his uncertainty, him not being absolutely certain that after 4, 5, 6, 7 months of dating me that he wanted to commit, that in itself should have been my sign to pull away, because we didn't want the same things. Clearly, we didn't want the same things. He wanted the access to me, but he didn't want the responsibility of being committed to me, loyal to me. For this reason, it was really hard when he did things that was out of line for me to address it. I felt like, oh, because we're taking things slow, because, you know, I want things to mature organically, because he has this fear that if he puts a title on what we are, which was that of a couple, because he fears that putting this title on it will then somehow ruin our relationship. Because of this, you know, there wasn't a space for me to say, hey, we're together, like we're in a relationship. You going online and flirting with women is inappropriate. And there was even a point during the situationship phase where I found out he was involved with a whole nother woman, and I was so conflicted on the inside, because I was just like, well, technically we're not together, so can I really be mad? Should I really be mad? The answer was yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's that, right? Once again, that uncertainty breeded so much more. It just complicated so many things. And I stayed. And I got to a point where I was like, if we can't say without a doubt that we are together right now, I'm ending it. Like, this is it. And he reluctantly, another red flag, he reluctantly said, okay, yes, we're together. The fact that even after that, there was still this conflicting feeling in me, because I felt like I had forced his hand. Even when it came to meeting his friends and family, I tried to plan like a surprise birthday trip for him. And I didn't even feel comfortable going to his cousin and being like, hey, I'm his girlfriend. I was like, I'm his friend, you know? So to be in a place like that should let you know that this is not your person and you don't deserve to be in that situation. And I can attest to being in that place where you settle for a part of a person. It comes from a place of feeling like you, like, even if you don't want to admit it, deep down somewhere in you feels like you don't deserve the full parts of a person. Like you don't deserve them fully, or that's the best you can get. What you accept is directly linked to your self-worth. And at that time, I don't feel like I valued myself enough, because if I did, I would have dated it from the moment he hit me with the, I just think we should take things slow. After 6 months, take what slow? We've done everything under the sun, sir. Take what slow? So yeah, that just goes back to, not choosing is a choice. And waiting so long and then someone finally deciding to choose you doesn't necessarily mean that you've made the right decision, because 2 more years later, I found out that he was involved with other people, like additional people, beyond the person that I found out about while we were in our situationship. All in all, just, it wasn't worth it. Following that, I did, if you've seen my How I Manifested My Dream Man video, following that, I decided to go within, I decided to take therapy. I wanted to heal. There are so many components to that relationship in itself. I could do a whole series, and maybe one day I might. But following that, there was so much pain and trauma that came out of that I was like, well, I actually started going to therapy before. We even tried couples therapy, it's a whole thing. But following that, I continued therapy. Therapy actually helped me out of that relationship, but I continued therapy. I really worked to heal the parts of myself that I felt was attracting these types of people. And I spent a good amount of time with myself, enjoying myself, loving myself, embracing myself, taking care of myself, prioritizing myself. And that is literally what brought me to where I am now. I'm married. I'm with a man who chooses me every day. It feels so good to be in this space, you know what I'm saying? It feels so good, but it did take a lot of work. It did take looking at myself in the mirror and seeing that, yes, there are bad people in this world, but sometimes we are also wired to indulge in these types of people because a part of ourselves feels like we deserve them. So, like I said in the beginning, choosing is a choice in itself. So if you have found yourself in a situation where you feel like you're giving your all to, you're investing time in, you're ignoring other potentials because of a person who is saying they're not sure if they want to be with you, or if they are ready for a relationship, or they even see dating and love in the way that you do, this is your sign to let it go and make space for someone who is going to unwaveringly choose you. So that's all I have for today. My hubby's calling me because lunch is here. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.